Praise the Lord, everyone. This is Nancy here. So, today I would like to share my testimony of salvation, how I got saved in Lord, how He came to rescue me and He showed His love to me. So, if I say about my testimony, I can just form it in one sentence that He took me out of the pit and honored me in His house. So that's one sentence that is very dear to my heart because that's how I completely describe my testimony. So if I say from the beginning, like I come from a non-Christian background and I come from a place where no one know about Jesus. There are no churches and no Christian family also. So there was no chance of for me to hear about Jesus Christ or to even know his name. So I just grew up in non-Christian background, and then if I describe myself as how I was from the beginning, I was literally a quite arrogant person, a prideful person who believed in things to achieve it by one's own ability, how much I can do it by myself, and I used to always have this pride in achieving the things in my life. If I say it correctly, I always had this if how much I can succeed in the life would determine how good I am. So that's how I was. That's how I was grown up, and growing up eventually something that was there inside of me, a void that I never understood what it is about, what kind of void that is, that wasn't even fulfilled with the parents' love that I had or anything that I was achieving in my life. So, if I remember in year 2012, I went into this relationship. This relationship literally turned out to be bad for me, if I say it right here. 2012, I went into relationship, and after that, I started doing everything, my career, my everything, for this relationship, just to make this relationship stand and work out. I, I don't remember even not putting a single effort from my side. So I worked for this relationship for a long time, and 2016 the things literally went upside down for me, and uh, I learned certain things about this relationship, and many things didn't go well with me. And finally, this relationship was at verge of breaking out, and at that time I was doing my post graduation. So I was I was literally getting into this depression, and during that time, I remember there's something that happened because I was living in hostel in Pune. So that time, something that happened was like um, this my roommate was there who did certain things, and because of that, her parents asked her to live with the warden. So as a result, I also was supposed to live with the warden because there were two wardens in the hostel. So being that adult kind of person who will always argue, and I was a person who won't even allow my mom to come into my room if I can be true enough true here. So what happened, just started crying because I never wanted to live with the warden. I started crying. I called my dad and I said to him, if you're not going to get me a single room, then you have to bear the consequences of your decision that you are going to take right now. I can't live with warden, I said to my dad. And up to my wonder, this was the first time my dad even didn't hear my words properly, and he just said that Nancy will speak to you in the morning. You just go and sleep right now. So I was into more into the things, and now I was like, no, I can't adjust with warden. But when I just went into the sleep, I don't know what happened with me that night. I just don't know, but there was a lot of peace in my heart. And though I was crying, but there was a peace. I cried for the whole night. But when I woke up in the morning, there was this peace in my heart, and suddenly my decision changed, and I was like, okay, it's okay if I have to live with a warden, that's really fine with me. And the biggest thing that was a turning point for me at this point, this warden who came to my room was a Christian warden. So she started living with me. So what used to happen? If you the warden and student cannot have the same timetable, so there was not even a single time we would meet each other or see each other. But one day, just coincidentally, or maybe it was God's will, we both happened to meet each other. And there was this New Testament that was there with me that I got during Christmas long back in Pune itself from the church. So I asked her because there was something in that, if I say it correctly, there was, whenever I used to see that New Testament, there was something of fire that I used to feel that is just calling out unto me. If I say, if I just say it correctly, there was some force of attraction, and I wanted to read it, but I didn't know how to read it. So I asked her how to read this one, and she told me like read this. This is how it is, and I started reading a one verse daily, and after reading that one verse, I used to sleep. I used to go to sleep, and that's how it was. That's how it happened. And then she invited me to the church. So when I went to the church, the first song that was playing in that morning in the church service was in Hindi, I'll say, वो खोजते खोजते आया मुझे गले लगाया आपने मेरे पापों को क्षमा किया नए सिरे से मुझे बनाया. So this was a church, the song, worship song that was going on there. If I convert it in English, it says like, He came searching out for me, He hugged me, He forgave my sins, and He made me new. So I was standing very numb that in that church service because I never went to church. I don't know what church is about. I don't know anything, and I was numb, and no one knew how to teach me because everyone had their own limitations even to speak to me. So no one could even come and openly speak to me about the thing. So that's how. Then suddenly, I don't know how, I just started reading Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd; I will never lack. And um, all these verses of Psalm 23, I can say to sit today and say that Psalm 23 literally came alive into my life. And when I started reading Psalm 23, what used to happen? Every Sunday, I would go to church and I would have to fight with this person with whom I was in a relationship with. Every Sunday, it started happening, and I wasn't able to understand what's happening with me. So the things went into more fiery furnace, and um, I just decided to quit on this relationship, and because of quitting there, I started getting into the depression. I started getting into the depression. I started having alcohol, and for even for sleeping, I used to take the medicines. And if I say it true, I used to take 10 to 15 tablets just for to get the sleep for a certain amount of time. I got this alcohol addiction, and finally, the things in the hostel also didn't go well with me. And then at that moment, I said to Lord one thing like, I was, if I remember, I was completely drunk and I was sitting into this my hostel room, completely dark room, and I just spoke one thing: I hate you, Lord. That's why what I spoke at that moment. I hate you, Lord. That was my sentence that I spoke. Though I did regret that sentence even today, speaking to Lord, but I think God took it very seriously about that time. And after certain time, when things were completely going out wrong with me, it was just like if I say everything was just there to attack me. I just said to Lord one thing: If you are the Lord, if you are the true Lord, save me from this fire. Save me from this fire. I will quit drinking alcohol. I will quit drinking. I'll quit taking medicines to sleep. If you are the true God, do it for me. And slowly, He just delivered me out of every situation. Being a good shepherd to me, He delivered me, and then it was like that depression didn't ended in me because I was still void of that love. I was still void of the everything that I always wanted in my life. So now because of that, I tried taking away my life. And I remember that night when I took the knife uh, to cut my hands just to take away my life. I was completely decided that night that there is nothing that can stop me from taking my life away. And I just made up my mind and I was into that room. And I remember the moment I took the knife in my hand and I tried cutting my hands that evening, that night. So there were these two forces that were I literally felt it, these two forces that were fighting against each other, and one was pushing me to just cut it, and the another force was taking this knife, trying to take this knife away from my hand. And I don't know what happened, but this force, that another force that was there, it just took away the knife from my hand, and it threw and that knife was on the floor at the next moment. And out of my anger and out of my outburst, I hit my right hand, this portion of my right hand to the wall. Um, when I hurted my right hand to the wall, it usually happens like you will have the pain in the hand, but that night I didn't feel any pain. I don't know what happened, but I didn't feel any pain. And when I didn't, when I was completely astonished. The moment I was astonished, I heard this voice speaking to me, Nancy. The day you came to me, day you accepted me as your Lord and as your Savior, this body is not any longer yours. This is my own. This is my own. So you cannot hurt this body now. So that was the voice that I heard, and I just crying all throughout the night. I just uh, slept on the floor. And after that, moments after that, now there was time for me to take the baptism. And if I tell my baptism story, it went on like this. Someone invited from my church for me to take the baptism. And when I took the decision to take the baptism, I said to the Lord one thing, because it was difficult for me to convince my parents for the baptism, and I didn't want it to do anything by not telling them, because they literally loved me throughout their life. So I just said to Lord, you know that you have done a lot for me, and I want to take the baptism. I want to take this season. So one request from me is to you is that if it is possible, just get my parents into this decision. Let them say yes when I call them. Let them say yes for the decision. And if you don't want it, then also I'm ready to leave my parents and just follow you. But you know that my parents are important to me. So it's up to you, Lord. And the moment I called my mom, the next time, she just said to me one sentence, Nancy, you take whatever decision you want to take. It might be a religion conversion. You take whatever decision you want to take, but never turn back from the decision. So she's speaking this decision, and she's speaking this sentence out to me, that never turn back from your decision. Whatever decision you are taking is still the sentence that I really hold, that I don't have to turn back, because God has already done a lot in my life. So that's how it. The next Sunday, I took the baptism, and slowly and slowly, God started showing me how much He loved me. He literally showered His love upon me. He literally showed me His love, that His love was so unconditional, even at the point where I sinned against Him, even at the point where wanted to die, but His love never ended. His love was holding me so strong at every moment of my life. His love was strong, holding me. So it was like uh, it was so deep. He started just uh, pouring out his love to me. He started speaking to me. And let me share this one. Like I was into the prayer moment where God just started giving me the vision of how He loved me from the beginning. And the same moment, there came this voice saying to me, I love you, my daughter. And the moment I heard this voice, there was this flashing back to my past, that where I said to the Lord, I hate you. And that was the moment that changed, literally changed my life. And that was a moment of surrender for me to my life to Lord. And that moment just did something inside of me. It showed me the love and every care that he has done for me, the way he carried me, the way he forgave my sins, the way he has been so good. His grace has covered me. His grace has changed the face of my life. His grace has changed everything in me. And slowly he just started changing everything. The void that was there inside of me, he started filling it with his love. He started doing whatever he wanted to do. And and out of all these things, he just poured out. I don't think there is anything that he hasn't done for me. So this is my story of salvation. um, Thank you so much for hearing.